Bayah is the spiritual contract or covenant that every Ismaili Muslim or Murid has made with the Ismaili Imam of the time. Bayah gives the Murid the right to access the Imam's teachings, guidance, blessings, and spiritual medicine, and the Jamaat Khana is the private space where the Imam makes these available to his Murids. The Bayah, an Arabic word which means buying, selling, is a two-way contract that includes a commitment from the Murid and a commitment from the Imam. Thus, the Bayah between the Murid and the Imam is a spiritual transaction or contract in which the Murid commits his allegiance, devotion, and obedience in exchange for the Imam's spiritual guidance, intercession, blessings, and purification in this world and in the afterlife. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah had explained to his Murids, "You perform Bayah, but you must first understand its meaning and then offer Bayah. When you offer me Bayah, it means that you extend your hand to me with a promise. He who obeys me and promises to follow me after offering me Bayah, I also give him my promise that I shall hold his hand in the hereafter. The trials and tribulations of the Day of Judgment are very frightening and painful. I will keep him away from all this." The act of Bayah indicates that a person accepts the Ismaili Imam as his or her spiritual master and guide. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah explains, "It is incumbent upon the parents that they should first make their children my murid through the performance of Bayah. Those who have not offered Bayah, they have not signed to accept our faith. Just as you sign on an agreement in your business and in other dealings, similarly, through Bayah, I take signature from your soul." Bayah as a religious practice goes back to the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny, and the Quran mentions it in numerous verses, in which the believers give Bayah to the Prophet Muhammad when they became his followers or reaffirm their loyalty to him. In Surah 48, Ayah 10, referring to the believers placing their hands under the Prophet Muhammad's hands, in the act of Bayah, the Quran states that the hand of God is upon their hands. This is significant because in physical terms it was the Prophet Muhammad's hand which was placed upon the hand of the believers, but the Quran attributed the entire affair to God. Surah 60, Ayah 12 stipulates that the Prophet should only provide guidance, blessings, and intercession to people after they give him their bayah. The verse places great emphasis on obedience to the Prophet as being part of this pledge. Similarly, Surah 4, Ayah 80 says, "He who obeys the messenger obeys God." And Surah 4, Ayah 59 says, "O ye who believe, obey God and obey the messenger and the possessors of the command, Amr, amongst you." The verse contains two commands and three parties of authority. The first command is for obedience to God. The second command is used for both the messenger and the ulul amr, possessors of the command. This firmly establishes from the Quran that the messenger and the ulul amr are on the same level of authority. As per Surah 4, Ayah 83, all disagreements are to be referred to the ulul amr who stand in the place of the messenger of God. The early Imams, Imam al-Baqir and Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, quote Surah 4, Ayah 59 to support the authority of the Imamat and stated, "It is through us that God is worshipped, through us that he is obeyed, and through us that he is disobeyed. He, therefore, who obeys us has indeed obeyed God, and he who disobeys us has disobeyed God." Surah 21, Ayah 73 and 32-24 show that the only people who guide by God's command or amr are the Imams appointed by God. "And we appointed Imams among them, minhum, to guide through our command, amr. And we inspired them to do good deeds and to establish prayers and to practice charity, and they serve us." Notice the key word amr, which used here for divinely appointed Imams, is the same amr in ulul amr. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, the 48th Ismaili Imam, refers to the concept of obedience to the ulul amr in the Quran. "We maintain that the Prophet only ordered prayer, fasting, and gentleness in all human relations, kindliness and consideration for all beasts and animals, from the smallest worm to the largest mammal. By the institution of the Ulul Amr, who can be interpreted as the Imam and Khalif, and by placing obedience to the Ulul Amr immediately after that to God and Prophet, he ensured that the faith would ever remain living, extending, developing with science, knowledge, art, and industry. Now that we understand that the divinely appointed Imams are the Quranic Ulul Amr who have the same level of authority as the Prophet, it is simple to understand why someone would give Bayah to the Imam of the time. The Ismailis have continued this Quranic protocol of Bayah throughout their history. The custom of meeting in closed sessions at especially designated places to learn about and practice their own interpretations of faith has been part of the Ismaili tradition from pre-Fatimid times. During the Fatimid period, the Ismailis used to participate in Majalis al-Hikmah, sessions of wisdom, which were accessible only to those who had pledged their allegiance to the Imam of the time.